Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the month of graduation. If you're currently a college student who's about to graduate, or maybe you've already graduated, you might be thinking about what you want to do after college. And say for example, you really want to explore your options and you're totally not set yet on grabbing a traditional 9 to 5 like everyone else, or maybe you are set and you want to grab a 9 to 5, but you're just not totally sure what kind of 9 to 5 you want to get. And so you want to just take some time to explore around what are options, what are ways that you can spend your first year after college other than grabbing a traditional 9 to 5, then this video is for you. So when I graduated college, I chased grabbing the 9 to 5, but then abandoned that lifestyle pretty quickly, and so I've pretty much bounced and hopped around all over the world, of just work life in general. And so there's typically 5 options or things that I personally thought of and looked into doing that I think there are ways that you can spend the first year out of college if you're looking for something different other than grabbing a 9 to 5 traditional corporate job like most college graduates when they go out into the real world. So the first option that you can possibly look into is possibly taking 1 year to do service abroad, to volunteer, maybe look into Peace Corps or some kind of non-profit. There are many organizations that do programs for recent graduates where they will send you off somewhere to do service for a year, which could be a really cool option and a great way to possibly unwind, especially if you've had some kind of stressful college career. This could be a really great way to kind of shift into something else, to try something new, and to lay back a little bit, and also to be able to take time to figure out what you want to do in life. If you volunteer around something related to your major or career path, this would also double and be even better, because now you can use this to even build up experience. That's something you could put on your resume. You could look into Peace Corps, volunteering organizations, and you could possibly even look into joining the military, although that's a little bit more intense and just a thought that maybe you may or may not be into. Depends on who you are. The second option that you can do is a little bit similar to that, is you can consider teaching English abroad. A lot of people I know, once they graduated college, they kind of wanted to have maybe an excuse to travel or something like that, or maybe they actually were very passionate about teaching English and they wanted to have some opportunities to kind of just give back and make some money while teaching a language that they really know. This could be a really awesome option, because many countries, especially in a lot of Asian countries I know off the bat, Korea, I'm pretty sure Japan, even China and Taiwan, they have many programs where they will literally send people from America, especially recent graduates, over to their country where they can basically teach English, and you don't even need any experience. I'm pretty sure a lot of these places, all you really need is just a college degree and you're set. The third option and third way you can spend your first year after college is to possibly use this as simply travel time, to travel, to use it as family and time with your friends and family. Sometimes the best part about being a recent graduate is that you are a free man or free woman, and you have the ability to go out into the real world and do almost whatever you want, because say for example you haven't had a job yet, or maybe you are about to have a job, but many jobs might have some kind of like gap between when you graduate and then the time when you actually work, your actual job starts. But of course this video is for people that were not looking to grab a 9 to 5 immediately after college. A lot of people I know sometimes can just take the first year and just lay back, to chill around, to travel and spend time with family and friends. Especially true because a lot of times once you enter into the workforce, you may never know the next time you're gonna have just an extended abundance period of free time again. So this could be an incredible way to kind of maximize and travel for a little bit, and because it's something that I know is on many people's bucket list. And going on to the next point, number 4, is the next thing you can possibly consider doing the first year after college is to pursue a hobby or a side hustle and potentially even make a career out of it. If there's a passion of some kind that you've always dreamed about attempting to chase and possibly even making a living out of it, when it comes to a lot of hobby-based careers, a lot of them tend to be really, really hard to make it. So if you're going to attempt it, oftentimes the earlier the better. The 1 year after you graduate, if you don't have a job, this is one of the most freeing time periods of your life. None of that homework, schoolwork, classes, massive workloads of exams to keep robbing away your free time. And if you don't have a job yet, none of that 50 to 60 hour work weeks most of your employed friends will probably have. You are basically free to chase and make moves pursuing your hobbies and interests. And I know many of the most successful people in our world did this. Jeremy Lin did this, J. Cole did this. Jeremy Lin, I think he graduated with like an econ degree of some kind, but he walked away and decided to pursue becoming a professional basketball player. J. Cole decided to give up getting a 9-to-5 so that he could chase his dream of becoming a professional rapper. And they're all like very, very big now in their industry. This is actually what I chose to do. And I know one point about doing this, what's really, really nice about this, why I recommend this also, is that because even if you don't end up making a career out of it, which hopefully you do, but what's really, really awesome is that the sheer amount of experiences that you can gain from just being there to kind of just explore and do something that you really, really love, all of these memories and potential experiences that you can develop, they're basically priceless. No dollar value can buy being in the position of being a recent graduate where you're just free to do that, to just pursue your passion and take risks that you normally would not be able to take if you were someone who was like in your middle ages and you have lots of responsibilities, possibly a wife, mortgage, and kids that you have to now support. There's really no dollar value, as if you don't chase it now, every day that goes by in your life is a day that you no longer can get back anymore. Every day that goes by, for most people, it will only get harder and harder. Not even folks making six figures who are now 50 to 60 years old will ever buy this position of life again. Not even those people will ever have the opportunity to do such a thing. So if you've ever wanted to chase a dream career, this could be one of the best and possibly even the only time you can possibly ever do it, since you never know the next time if it will even come when you're going to be able to do this again. Since after you settle into a traditional job, the more years that go by, the potentially harder it will be to leave, even if it has to be harder mentally, because you have to give up that comfort zone of where you're currently at to just restart and do something totally brand new, like pursuing your passion or hobby, whether this has to do with the arts, sports, whether you want to become a musician or a rapper like J. Cole of some kind. That's just something I think you can really, really benefit from. And again, the beautiful thing is, this is actually what I sort of did, is that the biggest motivation I think is to not necessarily go in for necessarily what you can grab out of it, but even to just go in purely for the experience, to be able to build up that memory and to just build up, happy moments and things, doing stuff that, again, that you really, really enjoy and love. And moving on to the fifth and final option, in my opinion, about a way to spend your first year after college is to consider starting a business. This is actually what I also ended up doing. I was able to do a combination of 4 and 5 because my business actually revolves around my passion. And if you don't know my story, is that basically I worked in corporate America while I was still a college student. And after a brief stint in there, I sadly got fired from one of my jobs, and then I kind of resigned the last traditional job I ever had once I was out of corporate America. But one of the biggest motivations why I left that corporate America way of life was to chase out pursuing my passion and to also learn about the business world. And they sort of came together for me, since I was super passionate, again, about the creative space and also about entrepreneurship. I found it just really, really fascinating, and I think that while you're still young and don't have as many responsibilities, again, compared to someone who's in their 40s, married, mortgage, kids, lots of responsibilities, maybe even a high cost of living because of some kind of inflated lifestyle or having loans and all that kind of stuff, this could be the best and potentially maybe even the only time you're gonna have so much freedom again and the ease of being able to start your own company. This is exactly what Steve Jobs did. This is what Bill Gates did, what Mark Zuckerberg did. Even though none of them graduated college, they still nonetheless did this in the 1 year after they left college. So hopefully this gives you 5 creative options and ways you can spend your first year after college, after graduation. I personally really do believe that after college, grabbing a 9 to 5 is not necessarily the only path that you can look into, even though it is for so many people in their eyes. I personally think, in fact, if anything, that there's so many better things to do than grab a 9 to 5, especially if you don't have loans to have to pay back, and if you don't have like an immediate urgency for money, because it could be one of the absolute most freeing time periods of your life to be able to kind of explore and do so many things that you normally potentially might not be able to do, or certainly not be able to do with as much ease when you get older. And again, do not think about doing a lot of these things necessarily because you can become famous or rich or anything like that, although that very much can happen. But do it a lot of times, I think, because of the experience. Because, for example, I know people that pursued their passion, and even though they don't necessarily work in that field anymore, the memories that you can make are so priceless that there are no dollar value amount, no amount of money, again, will ever buy time. At least being in this particular moment. No amount of money, nobody who's 60 years old, no matter how much money they have, will ever be able to buy the position of life. A 20-something-year-old, recent college graduate, full of energy, hopefully healthy, free, and able to do so many different things. The only exception I can think of is maybe if you have loans to pay, or if there's really a strong urgency to need to raise money. But if you don't have that urgency and you can kind of delay that option for a decent amount of time, there are so many alternatives that I really think people should consider, even if it's starting a YouTube channel of some kind. Again, running your business, starting a YouTube channel, traveling, all sorts of different things, pursuing a hobby, a passion, service abroad, all sorts of different, even if it's just to travel, spending time with your family, your kids, because everyone's gonna get old and it's only gonna be harder as the years roll on. You know, this is the time to chase your dreams. This is the time when you have some insane number of weeks, who knows how long, of free time to be able to travel. You know, whereas if you start your 9 to 5, most 9 to 5s, you're basically going to be stuck now with only 2 to 3 weeks of vacation a year. That's going to be very difficult for you to do anything else. You know, this is the time to work on your own self-discovery, your own self-improvement, and I highly encourage anybody to do this, because in most cases, a 9 to 5 will almost always be there. It will be harder later on in the future because you might have a resume gap, but it's still very much possible. But if you give up this opportunity now, time will go on, and this position of life may never come back again. College for most people happens once, and the few years you have after college also, in many cases, only happen once. You're only 21, 22, and 23 once in your life. This is the time to go for the things that you really hope or ever wanted to strive for. And so, because there's so many options that most people don't think of, which is why so many people end up locking themselves into a 9 to 5, this video is hopefully to share and give you guys some creative ideas and ways to spend your first year after college. I hope this video helped and maybe gave you guys some insight. If it did, like, subscribe, comment, because I'm always pumping out new videos about careers, college, life in general. Maybe comment down below how you're feeling if you're currently a college student, or if you've already graduated, what life has been like, and maybe what kind of option you're looking to take. What do you think you're looking to do after college? Even if it is actually to go into a 9 to 5, I would love to hear and get a conversation rolling, like with every kind of YouTube video that I pump out there. Subscribe, like, comment. Until next time, keep living, keep having fun, and enjoy.